then go. Alright.
And whenever you're ready.
Okay, doke. Right. So I presume I'm live on your guys' channel, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So hello everybody. I am Thebpg13, also known as Viper to my usual viewers. Today I'll be running Colin McRae Rally 1 for the PlayStation 1 in all of its, well, I would say 240p goodness, but because it's being run on emulation it looks a slight bit better. Actually a lot better, let's be honest. This is a racing game / rally game developed in 1998 by Codemasters, and obviously given the title of it being Colin McRae Rally. Colin McRae is actually one of the main guys. It's based off the real life rally driver, and yeah, so in this game, in this category, this is any percent novice, and we're going to be going through 6 rallies with 3 stages each. There'll be a few minor tweaks to the car adjustment that I'll be making along the way. For the sake of things, I will be using manual gears because that is the quickest, and we'll be using the VW Golf because it is the quickest novice car. Also, something else to note is that there is like 1 or 2 track shortcuts, so we cut through like behind a set of trees in Australia, and just try and keep it on the road for the most part, with the rest of the stages. So it's all about being fast, like in any good racing game. So speedrunning this for me is a joy. Hopefully it's entertaining to you guys. And yeah, so are you ready on the countdown? I presume so. Right, okay, so I will count you down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So like I said, this is Colin McRae Rally for the PlayStation 1, and like I said, it was developed in 1998. The main guy behind it was Colin McRae. He was the main person in charge. He had quite a bit of a say on it because it was his game, it was made in his name. The first of many games, and yeah, to say the least, it was probably one of his best at the time. Back then, racing games were not always a thing, so unfortunately with the racing game situation, back in the late 90s, as I'm sure everybody knows, racing games were popular for the PlayStation 1. They were not that popular. However, regarding the PlayStation 1 hardware, the game did its best, and it was actually the first and the second game released on the PlayStation 1 before they switched over to the next generation of consoles, which was obviously the PlayStation 2, the original Xbox. PC obviously just upgraded all the time, so the games got better graphically on the PC. And then the other thing to mention is that obviously that started the Dirt series in 2007, I believe, which unfortunately was actually the year of Colin McRae's death. He actually tragically died in a helicopter crash that year, but the game that was released that year was the start of the Dirt series, which is still going today. So this series is not dead, it's still alive, despite Mr. McRae not being alive anymore, which is good to see. And the game stuck to its rallying roots. There has been new cars that have been introduced and new tracks and things like that, as there is in every single one. But for the most part, this, like I said, it's fairly straight. For the most part of this rallying series, the idea is to get from point A to point B. So for those who don't know about rallying games in general, the idea is to get through several checkpoints from start to finish as quick as you can, whilst obviously maintaining enough speed to go through corners and things like that. Basically, the quickest route, quickest guy is the winner. And that is exactly what we're going to be going for. Now, currently, as it stands with this game and its records and things like that, I've near enough held the record all the way through for the PlayStation 1 and on the PC. And the reason being for that is, as I've mentioned to several people, is that I've played this game like I've been playing video games since I was about 2 or 3. I'm now 21, just to put it in perspective. So yeah, 18 years. I started off with the PlayStation 1, not like the Sega Dreamcast or anything like that. But for the most part, as mentioned, it was a way of getting started on video games, as like everybody started somewhere. But like I said, it was a game that I've always played. Fair to say, like, long story short, I've definitely played this game, or feel like I've been playing this game my entire life. Mainly because of the fact that, well, it's a bit odd really, because to think that I've been playing this game for 18 years is quite a funny story, because I never see myself as I played this game for 20 years. It's more, well, not 20 years, 18 years. It's just unbelievable when I think about it. So, it's, like I said, for me, it's a really good game, and I enjoy it very much, and I enjoy speedrunning it. There is a PC version of this game, which is basically the PlayStation 1 and the PS1 version. Sorry, the PlayStation version and the PC version, my apologies, are basically both the same game. The only difference being the load times, the frame rate, and I believe some of the extra tracks and things that you can get in the PC version you can't get in the PS1 version, but those are like the main differences. For the rest of it though, like I said, this game's pretty good at its roots. The one problem that's known with the PC version, however, is that if you try run, the game can be run on a modern day console, but it needs a lot of patches and things like that. It is also very known to crash from time to time. So basically, it can be just classed as an awful game on the PC. Despite how much better it looks and how much better it plays, it has a serious problem with glitchy physics and things like that. So the graphics can go weird sometimes. Like I said, it's known for crashing quite a bit, which makes like a run on that game 50-50 chance of whether you're going to actually finish that run or not. It's like playing Russian roulette with a game. Like, will I be able to finish my run today, or will the game crash and I'll have to start it again? It's basically one of those. It's really bad in that regard. And last thing to note as well, last thing to mention, is that there is a Game Boy Color version of this game, because Nintendo wanted to jump in and get some of the action. So they made this game for Game Boy Color that also has its own leaderboard, funnily enough. And the funny thing is as well, for the most part, the Novice Championship on the Game Boy Color is actually less than 15 minutes. Yes, less than 15 minutes. That's how quick Novice can be done, which is interesting to say the least. And it's been optimised a bit. We found like we found shortcuts and things like that, and that gets the category done a lot faster. So you'll notice that in that change, I changed from dry grooves to wet grooves for the tyres. That's because this stage is wet and it rains. And if you're on dry tyres, you tend to slide out a fair bit. Obviously for this run, I will be playing it cautious and trying not to take any unnecessary risks, and hopefully we should come out with a decent time. So currently the PlayStation 1 version, like most games, has a PAL version, which is for Europeans, for Europe, and NTSC, which is for North America, you know, that sort of stuff. The version that I'm playing right now is the NTSC version, and the reason for that is because it runs at 30 FPS, because in case nobody knows, games that run on PAL systems actually run at a 5-frame difference, so they run at less frames. And basically what that means for me, for this game anyway, is that if you have less frames, so if you're at 25 FPS, what that means is your times in-game are actually slower, and I have reason to believe as well that the load times are slightly longer. Whereas if you play on the NTSC version, you've got a better frame rate, which allows for more time, more that you can do. You can drive faster, and you can do the same time that you do on the power version, except because you're getting more stuff done per frame. You've got more frames per second. It allows that you can have a better in-game time and also better load times as well. Now, like I said, it doesn't make too much of a difference for load times, but for stage times, it makes a hell of a difference. Surprise, surprise. But it is something. It's really surprising for me. Like, I found out about that obviously the PC version runs at 60 FPS, but it plays just as well at 30, surprisingly. It's not too much faster, but it can be. So, as mentioned, the reason for using the Golf, this is the one thing I was supposed to get onto, is that the Golf is one of the quickest cars for the Novice, we have reason to believe. So, previously for this category, we were actually using the Skoda Felicia, which is a white car. As you can see on the top left, if you see the white car that's there, that is actually the Skoda itself. That's like the icon for it. And for the most part, we were actually using the Skoda because I thought it was the quickest car. And then one day, decided to test out the Golf. Because I remember I used to play with the Golf when I used to do, when I used to play the game. And turns out it was a lot faster. And it has a shorter wheelbase, which allows for better cornering skills and things like that. So it's an interesting one because it's got actually like the most horsepower out of a lot of the cars. It has, I think, near enough the shortest wheelbase. And like I said, in terms of speed, it's hands down the quickest car. The Skoda is a bit down on power compared to the Golf. But again, no surprise there. Oops. My apologies. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, so the Golf is the quickest car. He said, as we found out. It was a case of just testing and then finding out that, wait a minute, this car's actually fast. And that was how we just found out. So like I said, currently the record for this game, for this category, is a 55-52, I believe. And that is set by myself. That's the PlayStation category. The PC category is like a 54-23 or something like that, which is also set by me. The Game Boy Color version, I believe, is in the 13-minute mark. It's like a 13:30 something, I think. And that is set by somebody called Joseph733, who's reasonably good at those sort of games anyway. But it's a pretty interesting thing for McRae Rally, especially as a community. We're always like looking to grow and get new runners whenever we can. And in my case, like I said, it's all down to, firstly, I always try and, hopefully we can try and get like more community races that we do. Recently we've actually done like 2 community races, because as a small community we're all doing whatever we do, during the daytime and things like that. And like I said, because we're a small community, we are trying our best to do what we need to. It's not something that we should, but as a small community, we feel like it'll pull us closer together, if that makes sense. So like I said, as a small community, we are trying to grow. Currently, I think we've got something in the region of about 25 to 30 people, all of which do speedruns on one individual game or another. But yeah, for the most part, like I said, it's a very small community, but we're always welcoming new faces. We're not like a toxic community or anything like that. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask away, fire away. The only other thing I can actually mention is the reason why I use gear, like I said, manual gears, is because it is the faster option. So for the most part, I'll be skipping through most of these service areas without changing any settings for the car. That's just because I only need to make like 1 or 2 adjustments for the most part anyway. And to the person in my chat, shout out. Hello. It's like, psst, everyone that's in my chat, head over to Midwest Speedfling, whatever it's called, Midwest Speedfest. That's where you can catch me. Also, I've kind of made a little promise to myself. So yesterday I did like a 56 something. And my idea is if I can beat a 56.30, then I'll be donating something to you guys. It's kind of what I promised myself. So I've got everything to play for. We'll see. So I've kind of got to do my best on this one. Can't screw it up. Can't afford to screw it up, man. Oh yeah, there is actually regarding the other categories for this game. There's actually several. There's actually several different categories. So for the championship, there's 3 difficulties. So the one that I'm doing currently right now is Novice. The other 2 are Intermediate and Expert, which take a hell of a lot longer. They come in at like 2.5, 3 hours. There's the 100% category, which is the Rally School and the 3 championships, which racks in at about 6.5 to 7 hours. And then there's just Rally School, which is all of the Rally School trials, which takes like less than 15 minutes, roughly. PC version does anyway, the PS1 version takes like 16.5 minutes. Also, just to ask, would somebody else to give me like a time check when I cross the line for this stage? Just as in where we're up to on the RTA timer, just to know where I'm up to. That went really bad too. Yeah, it's a fairly straightforward game. New Zealand and Greece, I'd say, are the easiest of the stages to do. And then you've got Austria, which is coming up next, and that involves driving on icy roads, things like that. Fun fact: so in this game, there is actually something that you can actually have a look at if you play the 2 differences, the 2 console versions of the game. So if you play the PAL version of the game, there's actually 3, for some weird reason, there's version 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3. Now for my sake, I always play version 1.3. This is for the PAL version, by the way. I don't understand what the difference is between the versions, but either way. Version 1.3 has the 3rd rally named as Austria. However, if you play the NTSC version and the rest of the other ones, the rest of the other versions of Europe, that actually becomes Monte Carlo, which is its original name. Unfortunately.
3 right, 5 left. 1 right into 1 left. 5 left. Over crest into square right. 4 left over crest. Square right.
So it's a weird, like I said, it's a weird little name change that they put between the game. Why they renamed it between Austria and Monte Carlo, I don't understand. But the funny thing is, the countries are nowhere near one another. I mean, they're both in Europe, yeah, but they're not the same country. It's a bit of a funny gimmick, to be honest. It makes me laugh. Like I said, maybe it was just to... I think because they thought they had the same flag, but Austria doesn't have... Austria has like the red stripes with the white in the middle, and Monaco apparently has the red and the white, like red at the top, white at the bottom. And we still crossed the line despite being outside of the Greece stage, outside the finish. So that is 2 rallies down. Now we're on to Monte Carlo. This is the one that had the name change. And I changed to good acceleration there because it helps with the stage. It allows us to get through the stage much faster, and obviously the idea is the faster you can go speed-wise, the better, but if you have it on balance speed, your car is too slow out of corners, and if you have it on max acceleration, you top out too easy. And the idea is to not top out so easy and keep your speed for the most part. So oh, God. So the one corner that usually throws you off is that one there. It can make you go right over the edge. For some weird reason, the AI decides that it wants to change its difficulty in a minute. So on one of these splits, no matter how hard you try, the AI always seems to catch up to you. Like it's made out of magic or something, I don't know. Like, you know, as if by magic. So I'll show you what I mean. So I think it's after the 3rd split. You'll see what I mean. Oh, the 4th split maybe. I can't quite remember which one it was. Alright, that's the 3rd split. I think it's split 4 actually, I can't remember which one. But I do know that one of them has just some weird AI bug. And I can never get it to go green, it always goes red. Like the AI is immediately better than you, it's really stupid. So I think it's this one coming up right now. Yeah, up here, this is it. This one here. So it's always red. So the AI always seems to gain time on you for some weird reason. I don't understand why or how. Like why that's a thing or how that's a thing. It just does. Because rubber banding AI. The funny thing is though, the one thing I will give CMR credit for, sorry, McRae Rally credit for, is that the rubber banding in this game, there's barely any. I mean, if, you know, they barely do anything, like they slow you down to make them catch up to you. That's the fun fact, there isn't really rubber banding in this. Games like Need for Speed on the other hand, they do have rubber banding, as any Need for Speed player can tell you. Like 1 minute you'll be miles ahead of the competition. For those that don't understand what rubber banding is, it's basically the point where you get that far ahead of the AI that the computer or the game decides to slow you down purposely, so not let you actually max out your car, and allows the AI to close in, allowing for more interesting and closer racing. Another great example of where this sort of technique is used is usually in the likes of Mario Kart. You'll notice that a lot of the time, you know, where the AI will be miles behind and all of a sudden they'll catch up, or they'll have a blue shell and knock you down to 6th place or something right over the line. That's basically rubber banding. What you're seeing is rubber banding, that's what it is. It's quite common in racing games to have that. Yeah, it's quite common in racing games to have that sort of stuff. However, like I said, it's nothing to worry about too much in a game like this. Also, I do apologise if you can hear the dog barking. barks at stuff for no reason. Like, doggo!
Long 3 left.
By the way, what was the name of the dog? The meme one? The meme
Square
dog?
right into hairpin left.
What was he called? Doge? Doge? I don't quite remember.
2 right. Overcrest into 1 right.
Woof woof.
Hairpin left.
I like you thinking. On the, I like you thinking.
Hairpin left.
She's not going to put me off today, though. I'll tell you that. She can bark all she wants, but she won't put me off. It does annoy me when I hear her barking, though. Thing is, our dog, she'll bark at anything.
Square right.
Like, what dog doesn't? As soon as she sees a shadow move, woof! She's there.
Overcrest
Oops.
into 3 left.
Please stop.
Into square
Doggo,
left.
Doge. I don't remember what the name of the meme dog was.
Tight hairpin right.
It's like a dog with its mouth open. I forgot the name of it.
Tight hairpin left.
If it was Doge, then that's right, I guess. But I don't know.
2 right.
I'll say it had its mouth open. It didn't have its mouth open per se.
5 left.
It had like it looked like it was smiling sort of thing. It was I don't know. I can't remember. It was used in like all MLG stuff, you know, MLG. Oh no scope, all that stuff. Back in the day.
5
Well,
left.
you know, a few years ago. That sort of that dog.
1 left. 2 right.
Like I said, off the top of my head, I've actually forgotten.
Bridge. 3 left.
The 2013 main was south. Yeah, that's
3
it.
right into
So I'm gonna
5
take a quick shortcut through this tree here,
hairpin right.
and that actually worked out pretty well.
2 right. Overcrest into 4 left. Overcrest into 2 right. Square left. Over finish.
That stage went pretty well actually. It could have been faster. And we're nearly at the end of Austria. How lovely. The thing is, this isn't the first rally that I don't like. So we have Monte Carlo, which is this one obviously, which we're nearly done with, thank God. We then have Australia, which is really fun to play in my book. It's full of jungle and stuff like that. Quite a fun rally. Then we get Sweden, which is hell on earth, and then finally we get Corsica, which in my eyes is pure open driving, pretty much.
5 right into 4 left. 4 right tightens into square right. 1 left. 4 right. Square left into square right. Long 3 left.
But yeah, one thing you'll find with a game like this, if you are speedrunning a racing game, you'll often find, like most, that you're stuck to the screen, you're attached. You know, you're trying your best to keep yourself focused. That's what you do with any speedrun, I'd say. But with this one, you often require the art of mastering car control and things like that.
Into 5 left. 1 right.
I mean, the thing is, one thing to mention is actually that with racing game speedruns, I know they're often looked down upon, but to get into events is pretty good in my eyes. To see a racing game getting into an event like this is good. And I don't mean if it's under me, you know, if it's me that enters an event, it's just to see racing games get in. I'm not saying you should take over events, but to get some of them in events is always good to see.
2 right. 1 left into long hairpin right.
Like I said, we're not far from the end of Austria now. Nearly there.
1
Nearly
left
there.
into 3 right. Overcrest into 2 left.
I think we're doing okay actually. Come to think of it.
One left into tight hairpin left. Square right. One left over bridge. One right over crest.
So for our next rally, which is Australia, we literally just keep all the car settings the same. We don't have anything different. We just keep everything, all the car settings stay the same. So for the most part, you've got good acceleration on and stiff suspension, all the rest of it. We literally just leave the settings for Australia. We don't even touch the settings for the car. That's how straightforward it is. The car's practically set up for us, so we don't have to worry about anything like that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 4 right over crest.
Whoop!
4 right.
Turning a bit too early there.
Into long 3 left tightens. 4 left. Long 3 left. Square right into square left.
So yeah, the one piece of advice that I can give is that with Australia, you ideally want to keep out of the sides of the track. Keep it on the dusty stuff, obviously. Don't go off the track. Obviously, the idea with any rallying game is stay on the track as best as you can. Don't wreck the car, go as fast as possible.
Square right.
So the stuff at the side of the track will slow you down, apart from now. So now we've got just like plain grass, I think it is.
2 right tightens.
And you literally, you can drive over this stuff, it's no problem. Like, literally. So if you wanted to, yeah, just drive straight across. Why not? Why the heck not? So what I usually do is, to my left hand side now, I cut usually across here. And that just allows me to line up for the next few corners. Nice and easy.
Left tightens into 5 left.
Like I said, there's not a lot to this game. It's relatively straightforward for playing. You just have to, it's just all about your driving talent, really.
Square left.
There's not many shortcuts that I can show off, really, for this run. Mainly because we don't use them. And the ones that we do use only save, like, a few seconds because somebody else found one. You know, like somebody finds a skip, right, we use that skip. Everybody uses it. Like the one that's at the end of this stage, for example, this is one that somebody else found. And I've been using it ever since. I can pretty much pull it off, to be honest. It's not flawless, but I can pull it off.
Over jump. Over jump. Over jump into 2 left. 1 right.
So as we go down here now, he tells us to go left. And what we do is there's a hill just coming up now. And we go over this hill, like this, except we don't do the flip, and we can still make this. And that, I suppose, is how you finish a stage in style. Holy cow, that was good. That wasn't supposed to happen, but that happened. And I will definitely take that. Anything can happen with a speedrun. Oh my god. How did I pull that off? Please tell me did somebody clip that? Please tell me somebody clipped that, please. That's probably one of the best finishes I've ever done on that stage. The fact that it just slid over the grass like it was nothing. It's like, yeah, car's just gonna slide. It kept all. The best thing was that if it was like a tarmac rally, that wouldn't have kept all its momentum. That would have slid to a stop. But because it was on the grass, it just slid and eventually got near the finish. I just about managed to correct that, I'd say, to get across the line, but for the most part, the car drove itself. I didn't do anything, the car drove itself there. So that going around these gates is often a big problem for a lot of new players because they'll often slide out wide and also hit said gates. Now luckily for me, I've pretty much got the corners nailed near enough, so I know what's coming. Over this jump I usually apply the brakes slightly, or you can just choose to let off the gas. Either one works. I only changed down a gear there just to keep my speed going as much as I could. So this is like the major cut that we use. So you go through here like this, and then between this tree and the bush, like that. Apply the brakes, slide back onto the gravel, and that's the cut done. Like I said, that is like the main cut that we use for this stage, and allows us to save a hell of a lot of time on the AI. There is actually another cut which we can do around the back of some trees behind here, but for the sake of this run I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to play it safe. So the cut actually takes you out of one side of those trees and through the other, behind the billboards that are on the stage. And obviously, like I said, we don't want to be hitting anything at this point because, well, we don't want to wreck the car too much. Now we get onto this stage. Pretty much flat out to the end of the stage. This one's a nice stage for me. You're going practically flat, I'd say.
3, 2, 1, go. 2 left.
Greece for me is the one that's making me nervous. Not Greece, Sweden. Sweden is the one that's making me nervous because Sweden is quite horrible to drive. You'll see what I mean when we get to it in a minute. But put it blatantly, the first stage takes 3.5 minutes because of you have to just do continuous hairpins for 3.5 minutes, and it sucks. Stage 2 is a bit better and stage 3 is okay, but for the most part it's stage 1 that I don't like. It's hard to mess up, easy to mess up, but it's not so difficult either at times.
5 right. McRae into 1 left.
Like I said, for the sake of this run, I am going to play it safe. I'm not going to take any unnecessary risks, and I'll try my best to keep me driving to its best if I can. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions regarding the game, feel free to fire away.
2 right.
Any queries you might have.
2 left. McRae into 3 right. One jump. One jump into 4 right. Long 3 left. McRae. 1 right. 3 right. Back. Okay, one jump into 1 left. Into 1 right. 2 left. 1 right. Water splash. McRae. One jump.
Nice flats. Nice, I'm going to say, a nice flat out straight right to the end. Sliding it round the last corner very nicely.
Fantastic, we did it!
Very nice. And now we're on to Sweden. Sweden. This is what I meant. Stage 1. It is a hell of a stage to do. A hell of a stage. Also, where are we up to time currently? As in, what's the actual time that we're currently getting?
Square left.
You don't mind me asking?
Long 5 right. Tightens. Long 4 left. Tightens.
Not too bad, we're doing pretty decent, I think. I wouldn't say it's world record pace, but it's not exactly world record pace. Oh, it could be, I don't know.
5 right. right.
I don't know where I am against my PB right now. That's the thing. I wish I knew, but I have no idea.
Long 4 left. 5 right. 1 left into 2 right. Long 2 left tightens. 3 right tightens into square right. Square left. 2 right. 3 left.
I think, like I said, we're doing alright on time so far by the looks of it.
3 right.
But I don't know. Let's see what time I'm at by the time I get to Sweden. The end of Sweden.
2 left. 3 right.
This could be a PB.
4 right.
I don't know. Could be.
3 left. Hairpin right.
I don't want to jinx it. I mean, it could be. We'll find out.
Hairpin left. 4 right. Long 3 left. Tightens. Square right.
A PB in a marathon? Blasphemy. Well, I'll tell you something.
Long 4 right. Tightens.
For those that have never watched me before, which I presume is a lot of people in here, I have actually done marathons in the past. Not too long ago, quite recently, with games like The Italian Job on the PlayStation 1 and also Driver 2, and set new records in those marathons. So,
Long 5
and they weren't they were like PBs and the world records. So, yeah.
Long 4 right. Tightens. Into 5 right.
It could happen. Never say
3
never.
left.
Don't give up hope, as they say.
2 left. Square left.
But let's not jump that far ahead.
Square left.
Let's not go, oh, he's gonna get the PB, because it might not happen, so let's not. Let's keep our heads on.
Long 4 right. Tightens.
Let's just keep it cool, man. Keep it cool.
4 left.
Also, I'm not far from the
3
finish.
left.
Could this be a sub 330, maybe? Nah, it won't be.
Bridge into 1 left. Over finish.
It will be a 330. Could have actually, that could have been a sub 330. Jesus. Right. Okay. So for this bit, I turn it to good acceleration, just because I get more speed on some of the straights, and also for stage 3 too.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Square right. 4 left.
Oh God. Well, I'm not going to do it like get driving like that.
4 left. 5 left. Over crest into 3 right. 5 left. 1 left into 1 right.
I'm actually behind on AI. Oh my God.
1 left.
No.
Over crest.
Please no, not like this.
Over crest. Over bridge. 1 right.
Oh boy.
2 right. 3 left. Tightens. Into 5 left. Long 2 left.
Oh God.
1
Please
left.
don't. I say, please don't put me into the snow.
Long 4
So if
right.
I hit the snowbanks, I
Right.
will lose a lot of my speed.
1 left.
So I'm trying to keep it in the middle. For those that are unaware, by the way, what I'm driving on right now is ice.
Over crest. 1 left.
Well, it was ice, I'm now back on snow again.
Over bump.
So yeah, for the most part you do drive on
Right.
ice.
Over crest.
And it's not very nice when you do.
1 right. 5 left.
So this corner coming up, this one is a real pain.
Long 3 right.
I used to actually hit that at max speed. I used to anyway.
2 left.
Fortunately, the ice physics in this game don't handle too bad compared to the real world, so
2 right.
yeah. Like, driving in this game on ice is really easy, but if anybody who knows firsthand will know how bad it is when you drive on ice in real life.
2 left into 1 right. Gear bank.
It is good for sliding though, I give it that, like,
Into 4
definitely.
left. Gear over crest. 1 right into 1 left. Long 4 right.
So the reason for good acceleration is so that I can keep my speed as much as possible.
3 left. Long
It
4
allows me
right.
to keep going as fast as I can, which is nice.
2 right into 2 left. Over finish.
249? Yes, just about. Whoa, sub 250. I will take that, that's not bad. Stage 3 of Sweden. Not too far off the end now, we've literally just got one more rally to go, and the stages in that rally are really quick, so
5,
yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the last of the painful stages.
3 left. 2 right. Square left. 2 left.
This last stage as well of Sweden is quite a bad one for a lot of people, mainly because of the snowbanks. Like, you can easily hit them.
4 right.
It's a joke at how easy you can hit them. Like, the track's constantly wanting to put you in. It doesn't say it, well, why would it? But it always does want to throw you into the snowbanks as much as possible.
3 left.
Trying to go through this at fast speed is hard.
Over crest.
As you see there, it's trying to throw me into the
Right
snowbanks.
tightens.
I'm trying to go
Square
fast
right.
and it knows. Same here as well.
1 left. Over crest. Into long 4 right.
Again, it's all about trial and error with this game. For the most part, you will make mistakes, you'll get caught out by the snowbanks. It's not too hard to hit a snowbank.
1 right. Over crest.
My favourite part of this stage is this.
Over crest.
Because literally now we go straight for about
Over crest.
a split or two.
Right. Over crest.
I'm literally going just flat out. And this is us going flat out, by the way. You know, there's no
Over crest.
actually that hocus pocus stuff.
Over crest. Into 1 right.
And then there's this down here.
Over crest. Into 3 left. 2 right.
Like I said, I know my braking distances, so it's not too bad.
Over crest.
The more speed you can keep going through this part of the stage, the
2
better.
right. Over crest.
Obviously, like I said, I'm going to play it safe and just hit
Into 4
the brakes and everything. Change down a few gears, should be okay.
1 left. Over crest. Into long 1 right. Tightens. Into 3 right. Over crest. Into 2 left.
Personally, I think this one's going pretty well.
5 right. Into square right. Square left. Opens. Into 5 left.
Quite well, actually.
Over crest. Into
So
3
the ideal
left.
time that I want to be going for here is like within under 3 minutes. If I can make it, that is.
Right. Over finish.
And that is Sweden done.
Fantastic, we did it.
Only got one more to go. And the last stage, Corsica. Well, not last stage, the last rally, Corsica. This first stage takes around 2 minutes to do. It's a lot of hairpins. Stage 2 takes around the 2 minute mark.
5
Less than 2 minutes. And then stage 3 takes just short of 3 minutes, I believe.
5 left.
So we've got around 8 minutes of the run left.
Over crest.
And I feel bad because I'm going to miss the F1 start. Oh well.
3 right. 2 left into 4 right. McRae into 5 left opens. 3 left. 5 right. 3 left. 1 left. Gear McRae into 5 right. 3 right. Long 3 left. McRae. 2 right into 3 right.
So Corsica will often require, especially stage 1, requires a lot of concentration. Fortunately for me, I practiced this stage God knows how many times trying to get a stage time. It's pretty difficult to get under 2 minutes, but it is possible.
3 left. McRae.
It's just extremely difficult to do so.
Right.
Like for me, I'm currently making it look easy,
Over bridge. Long
you could say. But believe me, when you try this stage for yourself and try going as fast as I do,
5
it's pretty much impossible.
right. 4 left. 4 right. Tight.
It is very difficult.
5 right. 1 left. 4 right.
Unfortunately, there is some collision detection on the barriers, so on the wall outside, that I want to be careful of, because if I hit that too hard, then that's game over.
5 left.
I don't want to be hitting anything.
Right. 1 left into 2 right into 4 left.
Like it says don't want to be hitting anything, ends up whacking the car against the wall. Clever.
Hairpin right.
Okay, right.
4 left. Long 3 right. Over finish.
That's stage 1 done and dusted. The next one we're going to have to do is try and repair as much stuff as I can on the way down. So we put it to good acceleration there because this stage is quite quick, and I mean quite quick. It can be done in less than 2 minutes in a novice car,
3
which I'm going to be aiming for, try and get like in the 150s.
2 right. McRae.
The reason being for that is because what it allows you to do is it allows you to gain more speed with the good acceleration. We've now got greater straight line speed,
5 left.
and if we can keep that straight line speed, then that would be even better.
3 left.
Like that's the idea, we want to be trying to keep as much of that straight line speed as we can.
Square left. 4 right.
I lost quite a bit on the wall there, but that's not to bother. Not too much to worry.
Into 5 right. 2 right.
There we go.
3 right.
Start the straight line speed.
4 left. Hairpin left.
It is possible to carry on going around here. Fortunately, I screwed that up.
Long 2 right.
Supposed to slow down a bit. I should have slowed down a lot more for that one.
Into long hairpin left.
This one I know you definitely have to slow down for.
Square right. Opens into 2 right.
Like that.
Square right. 4 left.
Like I said, I'm going to be aiming for the 150s on this stage, if I can. Try and get a 150 on this. 150 something, that is. Not a
Right.
150 dead, because that's not possible, I don't think, in a novice car.
3 left.
So it's like, right, I've got around 25 seconds to finish this stage. That's no problem, I can do it.
Crest into 1 left.
As you'll see.
3 left. 1 right. Hairpin right. Long 5 left.
As we're nearly done, can we get under 2 minutes?
That was wild.
Just. Only just. So what I'm going to do here is just carry on. And time will be at the end of this stage. So the moment I cross the finish line, that's when we say time on this run.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I'll probably shout it out as well. I'll shout it out as well just to make things easier.
3 right. Square right. 5 right opens. 2 right. 3 left. Square left. 4 left. 3 left into K. Square left into square right. 4 right into square left. Over crest into 4 left. Square right. 2 left over crest. Square left. Square right. Square right opens. Hairpin left into square left.
It's not, I have to admit, this stage is probably not the easiest stage that there is. Corsica's hardest stage, I think, would have to be this one in my book.
3 left.
I can never see any stage being as harder than this one.
4 left. Over bridge into 4 right.
If I can get under 3 minutes here, that would be really good. That's ideally what I'm going to aim for.
Right into 5 left. 4 right. Square left. Tight hairpin right. 3 left into 5 left. 5 right. Long 5 left.
Oh, nearly missing the corner then.
Left into 3 right.
That was
over crest.
close.
3 left. Long 5 left. Back into
So yeah,
square
anything
right.
under 3 minutes would be good for this stage, if I can try and get it under 3 minutes. It's going to be a challenge and a half, but let's see if I can pull it off. Because the last bit of the stage is actually really
2
difficult,
left over crest.
especially if you mess it up, which you can easily do.
Square right over bridge. 4 right.
Believe me, I messed this stage up so bad on the last bit.
1 right. 1 right into 2 left. Over crest into square left. Square right. 5 right. 1 left into square right. Hairpin left. Square right. Square left. 4 right. 1 right into 2 left. 3 left over crest into long 4 right. Over finish.
Time! That's time. That was a really good stage time actually. 6:58 as well. Oof. God. 55:42. I think that is new world record. Yep, that is a new world record. PB and world record, yeah.
Nice. That is awesome, dude. Holy moly. That was really cool.
I think that beat my personal best by about 13 seconds or 10 seconds or something.
Dang, that's pretty awesome. Well, this isn't down to like the 10th of a second. It's just regular seconds, but dang. Really good, really good.
That was good. I'm impressed. I didn't think I could do that, but I'm impressed I pulled that off in a run.
That was a
Especially marathon.
pretty awesome run.
I think I was going a lot faster than I usually did. I noticed half my stage times were quicker than my last one. I think I was more focused on the game this time around. That's probably what it was. I mean, that run could probably be improved again, but overall, like I said, that's world record. So I'm happy. I'll take that. Yeah, I think just to quickly round it out, actually, before I go, just to mention to everybody that's watches me normally, you guys know who you are, you're all amazing. And to everybody that's been watching me do this run on the Midwest Speedfest channel, thank you very much. And also, I just want to give a quick mention out to the entire CMR community in general. Again, like I said, we're all trying to come together, and we're doing community races as frequent as we can, and we're always taking on people who want to do the speed run and things like that, and just do any of the games, even if it is like maybe the one that's on the Game Boy Color or anything like that. We like I said, we're not a hostile community, and it's great if anyone decides to speedrun it. If anyone needs any tips or tricks, you'll be able to find any of us on there, including myself. And yeah, I think the rest of all I've got left to say is thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for the runs. Really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to watch. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and head over to intermission and get set up for the next run, which is Contra Rebirth with Linkameister. And sit tight, guys. We'll be right back.
And to the guys that have currently been watching my stream, I'm gonna end this because I've got F1 to go and watch. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. See you later.